Hey, what's up everybody? It's Thursday on Genderqueer Chat. This is actually your second video of the day. Matt uploaded their video this morning, which was pretty cool, so hi Matt. Yeah. This week's topic is gendered, or terms of endearment, or pet names and that kind of thing that might have a gendered connotation. How do you feel about that? Which do you prefer? So, this is kind of an interesting topic. I feel like things, terms of endearment that are typically more, have in the, throughout history typically been used towards female-bodied people. When you think about those words like, beautiful and pretty and that kind of thing, I feel like that tends to be more widely used just like in a general sense of language. You would say that sunset is beautiful, and you wouldn't necessarily say that's a very handsome sunset. So I feel like those types of terms, like beautiful, gorgeous, pretty, those kinds of things, are sort of more generally, more broadly used, just with, in language, in English in general. So it's a lot easier, I think, to use words like that in a sort of gender-neutral setting. It doesn't necessarily evoke this sort of highly feminized feeling as, as maybe once upon a time it did. So, yeah, I think that stuff, the words that are more typically, male words, or, like handsome and that kind of thing, aren't really used in a more general way. So, to call somebody handsome feels like you're sort of really masculinizing them. So, yeah, I'm good with things that feel a little bit more gender neutral. I think that, okay, this is something that Andrea and Matt both said, that, a compliment's a compliment and I'll take it. I honestly believe that it comes from, like, the intention of the person makes a really big difference for me as to whether or not I'll get offended. If somebody calls me, somebody who knows me calls me beautiful, I think that is a compliment, because you're not really talking about, just their exterior, you're talking about sort of their whole being. And that's very complimentary. But if somebody who doesn't really know me, or even somebody who knows me but doesn't really get me, calls me, I've had, these two things, I've had beautiful girl and pretty lady, on, like, quite a few occasions, like beautiful girl, and you kind of think, like, why do you have to say girl after that? Why say girl? First of all, I'm not a child. Second of all, like, why gender that? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me, and I find it offensive. So even though it's meant as a compliment, it's not really meant to compliment me. So that is why it's one of those compliments that I don't want to take. I'm offended by it. So, yeah. A compliment is not always, positive. Even if it's intended as a positive thing, it's not always. Yeah, because, especially if it's intended as a positive thing, and it just sort of highlights how much this person doesn't understand you or doesn't know you. So yeah, it kind of relates back to a couple weeks ago what we were talking about, in terms of sexuality and somebody sort of being attracted to something you're not. It's somebody complimenting something you're not, which I don't really take as a compliment, at all, actually. So, yeah, but somebody who knows me, some of those same words, I mean, anyone who knows me wouldn't call me girl, but some of those same words wouldn't offend me at all. I would actually find them quite complimentary. So it really does, I think, have a lot to do with where it comes from, like where the term of endearment comes from. Things like pet names, kind of interesting too. I think, pet names are things that can end up, being really personal to the relationship or to the person. And I really like that, because there's no gender in that. If you know somebody well enough to be giving them a pet name, you're not going to be giving a genderqueer person, a pet name that is gendered, unless you don't really know them very well. So, for instance, something like, and I mean, these kinds of like pet names and stuff, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, I'm talking about friendships and, relationships with, parents and children and that kind of thing. Okay, my real name is Kier. Ricky is a nickname that I had when I was younger, and I actually, when I first started doing YouTube videos, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use my real name, so I just used Ricky because, it's my everything. It's my YouTube name, my email, one of my email addresses, like, most things that I have. My groceries even are, like, under Ricky, so I just started using Ricky. But my real name is Kier, and my mom, when I was a kid, I really liked teddy bears. So my mom would call me Curie Bear. And she still, to this day, calls me Curie Bear. So I think that kind of thing, that's a little pet name that it's sort of brought, like, from the relationship and from, well, not, I guess, I don't know, from just me as an individual. It was like, this is my child, whose name is Kier, who likes teddy bears. Like, there's nothing gendered in that. And I think that most kind of pet names that come from, something personal about the person or, aren't going to end up having a gendered connotation for a genderqueer person. So I think that's kind of nice. That's sort of the nice thing about, pet names and that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, I think I rambled on enough about this. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.